There's a hidden door in the universe that few have discovered, a passageway to abundance that doesn't require you to exhaust yourself with endless work or sacrifice your joy in pursuit of prosperity. This door, this sacred pathway, is closer than you might believe. In fact, it's as near as your next breath, as intimate as your next thought, as powerful as your deepest faith. I've walked alongside thousands who have discovered this pathway, people just like you who once found themselves staring at empty accounts, unpaid bills, and wondering if financial peace would ever be their reality. People who had tried everything the world suggested, worked harder, invested smarter, saved more diligently, yet still found themselves caught in cycles of lack and limitation. What I'm about to share with you isn't taught in financial seminars. It won't be found in economic textbooks or investment guides. Yet it has transformed more lives, created more abundance, and opened more doors of opportunity than many conventional methods combined. This is about accessing a spiritual dimension of prosperity, a dimension where abundance flows not from desperate striving, but from aligned receiving, where financial increase comes not just from what you do, but from who you become in partnership with the divine. You're here right now, in this moment, for a reason. Perhaps you've been feeling that subtle whisper that there must be more than this constant struggle. Maybe you've sensed that true abundance should flow more naturally, more joyfully. Your intuition has been guiding you correctly. The prayer journey we're about to embark on together has revealed unexpected financial blessings for countless others. Opportunities appearing as if from nowhere, resources arriving at precisely the right moment. Creative ideas worth their weight in gold suddenly downloading into receptive minds. This isn't about magical thinking or avoiding practical action. Rather, it's about aligning your spiritual energy with your financial goals, creating a harmony between heaven and earth that naturally attracts prosperity into your life. What makes this approach different is that it works with both spiritual laws and practical principles. It addresses not just your external circumstances, but the internal barriers that may have been unconsciously blocking your abundance. As we begin this sacred journey together, I invite you to open your heart fully. Release any skepticism that may have been born from past disappointments. Today can mark the beginning of a new financial story for your life, one where you partner with divine abundance rather than struggling against perceived scarcity. There's a reason why ancient wisdom across traditions speaks of prosperity as a natural birthright, a divine blessing meant to flow freely through our lives. That wisdom hasn't lost its power, we've simply lost our connection to it in a world that teaches us to rely solely on our own limited strength. In these next moments together, we'll reforge that connection. We'll open channels that may have been closed for years, we'll clear blockages that have been restricting your financial flow, and most importantly, we'll align your spirit with the infinite source of all abundance. Take a deep breath. Center yourself in this moment. The journey to unexpected prosperity begins with this prayer, not just words spoken, but a heartfelt communion with the source of all abundance. Do you remember the last time you opened your bills and felt that knot form in your stomach? That silent moment when you wondered how the numbers could possibly add up? When the gap between your income and your expenses seemed like a canyon too wide to cross? Perhaps you've lain awake at night, your mind racing with financial worries, calculating and recalculating, hoping somehow the math would change. Maybe you felt that heavy weight of responsibility, knowing others depend on you, yet feeling the resources slipping through your fingers like sand. Have you ever found yourself standing in a store, looking at something your child needs, not wants, but needs, and having to put it back because the money simply wasn't there? Or postpone medical care because the cost seemed impossible to bear? These aren't just financial challenges. They strike at the very core of our identity, our sense of security, our feelings of capability as providers and caretakers. They challenge our worth. When financial pressure mounts, it doesn't just affect our bank accounts, it seeps into our relationships, our health, our peace of mind, our very sense of hope for the future. And in those moments, the world offers solutions that often feel like placing bandages on broken bones. Work harder, budget better, cut more expenses, as if you haven't already trimmed your life to the essentials, as if you aren't already giving your best efforts. What's most painful is how isolation grows in the soil of financial struggle. We begin to withdraw, embarrassed by what we perceive as failure. We smile and say, "I'm fine," when inside we're drowning in worry. We compare our behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel and wonder, why is abundance flowing to others but not to me? Some voices even suggest that your financial struggles are evidence of spiritual failure, that if only your faith were stronger or your character better, prosperity would automatically follow. These messages compound the pain, adding shame to an already heavy burden. And perhaps the deepest cut is how financial strain steals our present joy. Instead of being fully present with those we love, our minds are elsewhere, calculating, worrying, planning for the next financial challenge. The simple pleasures of life become difficult to appreciate when overshadowed by monetary concerns. You may have prayed before about your finances, perhaps with tears, perhaps with anger, perhaps with a faith that wavered between hope and resignation. You may have wondered if those prayers were even heard, let alone answered. I want you to know that your struggles are seen, your efforts are honored, your pain is valid, and most importantly, your situation is not a reflection of your worth or your spiritual standing. What if the pathway to abundance isn't about striving harder but opening wider? What if financial breakthrough has less to do with your earning capacity and more to do with your receiving capacity? What if prosperity has been waiting to flow into your life, but channels have been blocked by old beliefs, generational patterns, or wounds you didn't even know were there? What if today could mark the beginning of a new relationship with money, one built not on fear and scarcity, but on trust and divine partnership? What if the very universe is conspiring to prosper you, waiting only for you to align with its abundant nature? The pain you felt around money hasn't been wasted. It's been preparing you for this moment of transformation. Sometimes we need to reach the end of our own resources before we can truly open to a greater source of supply. Sometimes the painful awareness of what isn't working becomes the doorway to discovering what will. Today, we stand together at that doorway, not to deny the reality of your financial challenges, but to face them with new spiritual eyes. Not to ignore practical steps, but to infuse them with divine power. Not to pretend prosperity comes instantly, but to plant seeds that will grow into the abundant harvest you deserve. In times of uncertainty and lack, people throughout history have discovered one tool that transcends human limitation and taps into divine abundance: the power of focused, faith-filled prayer. Not casual wishful thinking, but deep communion with the source of all prosperity, a spiritual practice that realigns our energy with the natural flow of abundance. Prayer isn't merely asking for what we lack, it's acknowledging the infinite supply that already exists and opening ourselves to receive it. It's a profound spiritual technology that operates beyond the visible world of cause and effect, accessing what mystics and spiritual teachers have called the field of infinite possibilities. The ancient wisdom text reminds us, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you." This isn't a metaphor, it's a spiritual principle describing how the universe operates. When we align our consciousness with abundance through prayer, we become natural conduits for prosperity. But why does prayer work for financial transformation specifically? Because money is more than paper and digital numbers. It's frozen energy. It responds to consciousness. It flows along the pathways of belief. When we change our spiritual relationship with abundance, we change how that energy moves in our physical experience. Prayer works because it addresses both the seen and unseen dimensions of prosperity. While we take practical actions in the visible world, prayer works in the invisible realm, shifting energy, opening doors, creating synchronicities, and revealing opportunities that our limited thinking could never conceive. This isn't about bypassing responsibility or practical action. Rather, prayer empowers those actions, infusing them with divine guidance and support. It's about partnership with the infinite rather than struggling alone with the finite. Countless testimonies confirm this truth. People who, after years of financial struggle, experienced unexpected windfalls after aligning their consciousness through prayer. Entrepreneurs who received million-dollar ideas during moments of spiritual connection. Families who witnessed resources appearing from unexpected sources after releasing their grip of worry and embracing trust. Science is even beginning to validate what spiritual traditions have always known. Research in quantum physics shows that consciousness affects reality at fundamental levels. Studies in neuroplasticity reveal how focused attention, the essence of prayer, literally rewires our brains, changing how we perceive and interact with the world, including our financial decisions. The prayer we're about to experience together works through multiple spiritual mechanisms simultaneously. It dissolves limiting beliefs about money that have been blocking your prosperity. It aligns your energy with the vibration of abundance rather than scarcity. It opens your awareness to opportunities already present but previously unseen. It connects you with divine wisdom for inspired action beyond your current thinking. It releases the grip of fear that constricts the natural flow of prosperity. This prayer is not magic, it's alignment with spiritual law. Just as gravity works whether you believe in it or not, the principles of spiritual prosperity operate consistently for anyone who applies them with sincerity and faith. As we prepare to enter this prayer, remember the words of spiritual teacher Ernest Holmes. The divine gives us all that it has and is. We cannot earnestly seek and expect to find without receiving that for which we are looking. Your openness right now is the first step toward transformation. Your willingness to try a new approach, to partner with the infinite rather than struggle with limitation, is already shifting energy in your favor. The prayer we're about to experience together is simply the focused amplification of that shift. Before we enter the heart of this prayer experience, I invite you to prepare yourself, not just mentally, but with your whole being. This is a sacred moment between you and the divine source of all abundance. The more fully present you can be, the more powerful this experience will become. First, find a comfortable position where you won't be disturbed. If possible, close your eyes to minimize external distractions and turn your awareness inward. Place your hands on your lap with palms facing upward, a physical symbol of your readiness to receive. Take 3 deep breaths now. Inhale slowly through your nose, feeling abundance filling your lungs, and exhale through your mouth, releasing all tension, doubt, and financial worry. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more present, more open, more receptive to the prosperity that seeks to find you. As we move into this prayer, I invite you to do more than just listen to the words. Feel them resonating in your heart. Visualize the images they evoke. Allow yourself to experience the emotions of already having received the abundance you seek. If doubts arise during our prayer, and they may, simply acknowledge them without judgment and gently return your focus to the words and feelings of abundance. Remember, this isn't about forcing yourself to believe, but about opening a channel that worry and doubt have kept closed. When you hear a phrase that particularly resonates with you, I encourage you to speak it aloud, making it your own declaration. Your voice carries creative power. When you speak words of abundance with conviction, you literally send vibrations into the universe that begin arranging new possibilities. After our prayer concludes, I invite you to take one simple but powerful action. Write down the phrase from our prayer that most deeply touched you. Place it somewhere you'll see it daily, on your mirror, your refrigerator, or as a background on your phone. This becomes your prosperity touchstone, a focal point for your abundance consciousness throughout your day. This small act represents something profound, your commitment to carry this energy of abundance beyond these moments together. It symbolizes your decision to make prosperity consciousness not just an occasional practice, but a way of living. Are you ready? Take one more deep breath. Release any final resistance. Open your heart to receive not just words, but the energy of transformation they carry. Let's step together into this sacred space where human limitation meets infinite supply. Divine Source of all abundance, I come to you now with an open heart and a receptive mind. I acknowledge you as the unlimited supply of all good things, the wellspring from which all prosperity flows. In this sacred moment, I release all worries about lack and limitation. I let go of all fears about my financial future. I breathe in divine abundance. I breathe out financial worry. I breathe in infinite possibility. I breathe out scarcity thinking. I breathe in perfect trust. I breathe out desperate control. Right now, in the deepest part of my being, I recognize a truth that transforms everything. Abundance is my natural state. Prosperity is my birthright. Financial freedom is not something I need to struggle for. It is something I am learning to allow. I have been living with a closed fist, trying to hold on to what little I thought I had. Now I open my hands, physically and energetically, ready to receive the flow of prosperity that has never stopped moving toward me. Divine intelligence that creates and sustains universes, I ask now for a transformation in my financial reality. Not from a place of lack, but from a place of knowing that you desire my abundance even more than I do. You created me to thrive, not merely survive. You designed me to experience plenty, not poverty. Where I have been blind to opportunities, open my eyes. Where I have blocked the flow of money with fear, dissolve those blockages now. Where I have believed I was unworthy of prosperity, plant new seeds of divine worth. I declare now, money comes to me easily and frequently. Financial doors are opening for me that I couldn't have imagined. Creative ideas with prosperity potential are downloading into my consciousness. People who can support my financial increase are being drawn to me. Resources are finding their way to me through expected and unexpected channels. I see it now, money flowing toward me from multiple directions. I feel it. The relief of bills paid with ease, debts diminishing, savings growing. I experience it. The joy of having not just enough, but more than enough to share with others. You who formed galaxies from void and planets from dust know exactly how to reshape my financial landscape. You who designed the perfect balance of nature know precisely how to bring my finances into divine harmony. You who sustain entire ecosystems understand perfectly how to sustain me and those I love in abundance. I release the need to know how this transformation will occur. I surrender the compulsion to control every detail. I trust the infinite wisdom that directs rivers to oceans and stars in their courses to direct prosperity to me in perfect ways and perfect timing. Where I have participated in generational patterns of lack, I break those patterns now. Where I have inherited limiting beliefs about money, I release and replace them now. Where I have unconsciously resisted prosperity, I dissolve that resistance now. Divine Source, I thank you that even as I pray, unseen forces are at work rearranging circumstances in my favor. Unexpected income is on its way to me. New channels of prosperity are forming. Financial burdens are lifting. Solutions I couldn't have imagined are taking shape. I am more than my financial circumstances. I am a divine being having a human experience, and abundance is part of my spiritual DNA. I carry within me the same creative power that spoke worlds into existence. I partner with that power now to speak a new financial reality into being. Money is neither my master nor my enemy. It is simply energy responding to my consciousness, and I choose a consciousness of abundance. I choose to see myself as a magnet for prosperity. I choose to recognize myself as worthy of wealth. I forgive myself for past financial mistakes. I release the shame of previous money struggles. I let go of all judgment about my current financial situation. In their place, I plant seeds of wisdom, discernment, and divinely guided action. I am becoming a wise steward of the abundance that is already mine in the spiritual realm and is manifesting now in my physical experience. Divine Presence, show me the next right action to take. Guide my decisions, inspire my thinking, connect me with the right people, opportunities, and resources. Use even my financial challenges as pathways to greater abundance. Transform obstacles into opportunities for increase. I declare money is finding me now. I affirm prosperity is flowing to me now. I know abundance is manifesting for me now. The universe is not withholding prosperity from me. It is waiting for me to expand my capacity to receive. So I expand that capacity now. I open wider, I allow more, I receive fully. Just as water must flow to remain pure and vital, money must flow through my life, coming in abundantly and going out purposefully. I am a channel, not a reservoir. I commit to keeping prosperity in motion through wise spending, strategic saving, joyful giving, and conscious investing. I see now with spiritual eyes the barriers to my abundance dissolving like mist in morning sunlight. I witness the landscape of my financial future transforming from desert to garden. I observe new opportunities sprouting like seeds after spring rain. Divine wisdom, I thank you that you are revealing to me new ways to increase my income that align with my purpose, creative solutions to financial challenges that have seemed insurmountable, pathways to prosperity that bring blessing to others as well as myself. I stand at a turning point in my financial story. The old narrative of struggle ends here. The new story of abundance begins now. Every cell in my body resonates with this truth. Every thought in my mind aligns with this reality. Every feeling in my heart embraces this transformation. Money is on its way to me now from sources seen and unseen. Financial breakthrough is unfolding for me now in ways expected and unexpected. Prosperity consciousness is awakening within me now, changing how I think, feel, and act regarding money. I breathe in this new reality. I speak it into existence. I claim it as mine. And I thank you, Divine Source, for abundance that exceeds my imagination, prosperity that appears as if from nowhere but flows from everywhere. Let it be so. And so it is. Feel it now, the shift that has already begun within you. Something has changed in the very atmosphere surrounding your financial situation. Where there was heaviness, there is now lightness. Where there was constriction, there is now opening. Where there was fear, there is now faith. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual reality creating physical manifestation. The prayer we've just experienced together has set in motion energetic forces that are already rearranging circumstances, opening doors, dissolving barriers, and creating pathways for money to find you. I believe with absolute certainty that financial increase is heading your way. Not because I'm trying to convince myself, but because I've witnessed this process transform thousands of lives, people whose financial situations seemed even more challenging than yours. Right now, as you sit in this energy of possibility, an opportunity that will bring unexpected income is preparing to enter your awareness. A person who will play a key role in your financial breakthrough is being drawn into your orbit. A solution to a persistent money problem is crystallizing in the field of infinite possibilities. A creative idea with prosperity potential is making its way to your conscious mind. The universe operates through spiritual laws that are as reliable as physical ones. Just as gravity works every time, not just sometimes, the law of abundance works consistently when we align with it. And you have just aligned yourself more powerfully than perhaps ever before. See it clearly. The bills that have caused you stress are being paid with ease. The debts that have felt like chains are being systematically eliminated. The savings that have seemed impossible are growing steadily. The financial freedom you've longed for is becoming your new normal. This is happening now, not in some distant future, but in this present moment. Energy is shifting. Resources are gathering. Abundance is moving toward you. I know there's a part of you that may still doubt, that may still wonder if prosperity can really appear out of nowhere. That skepticism comes from past disappointments, from old stories you've been told about struggle and scarcity. But those stories are not your truth anymore. Your new story is being written in the language of abundance. Where once there was never enough, now there is more than enough. Where once there was, I can't afford it, now there is, I am abundantly supplied. Where once there was, money is scarce, now there is, money flows to me easily. This new narrative isn't just positive thinking, it's your alignment with the truth of an abundant universe that has always been waiting for you to open to its flow. The channels are open now, the resistance has dissolved, the blocks have been removed. What happens next may surprise you in its simplicity, its elegance, its perfect timing. Perhaps it will come as an unexpected check in the mail, perhaps as a sudden insight that leads to additional income, perhaps as a debt forgiven or an expense eliminated, perhaps as a connection with someone who holds a key to your financial increase. I've seen money appear from sources that seemed impossible. Insurance refunds no one knew about, forgotten investments suddenly found, talents recognized and rewarded, inheritances from distant relatives, ideas that generated thousands in weeks. These aren't coincidences or lucky breaks. They're the natural result of spiritual alignment with abundance, exactly what you've just created through this prayer. Hold this vision of your prosperous new reality with unshakable faith, not with desperate clinging, but with calm certainty, the same certainty with which you expect the sun to rise tomorrow. Your financial increase is just as certain, just as natural, just as inevitable. Feel the relief of bills paid easily and on time. Experience the joy of generosity that comes from having more than enough. Taste the freedom of choices made from abundance rather than scarcity. Embrace the peace of financial stability that supports all areas of your life. This is not a fantasy, it's your birthright. It's the natural state of a being created by an abundant source in an abundant universe. You're simply returning to what was always meant to be your reality. The seeds of prosperity have been planted. They are already germinating. Soon, sooner than you might expect, you will see the first green shoots of financial increase. And those shoots will grow into a harvest that will nourish you and allow you to nourish others. It's happening now. Money is appearing. Abundance is manifesting. Prosperity is becoming your new normal. And it all began with this prayer, this moment of spiritual realignment with your natural state of divine wealth. As we bring this sacred time of communion with divine abundance to a close, know that what we've done together is not ending, it's just beginning. The prayer we've shared isn't a momentary escape from reality, it's the seed of a new reality that will continue unfolding in the days and weeks ahead. The energy of abundance we've activated together remains with you. It surrounds you, it fills you, it moves with you into every circumstance and situation. You're now carrying a prosperity consciousness that will transform how money shows up in your experience. Remember the feeling of this moment. Remember the certainty you felt when you declared that money is finding you now from unexpected sources. Remember the relief you experienced when you released financial worry into divine hands. Remember the joy you tasted when you embraced your natural state of abundance. This feeling, this knowing, is your new home. Return to it whenever old doubts or fears attempt to pull you back into scarcity thinking. The prayer we've shared isn't meant to be experienced just once. It becomes more powerful with repetition, with consistent realignment of your consciousness with prosperity. I invite you to revisit this prayer whenever you need to reset your financial energy. Speaking it aloud amplifies its power. Writing key phrases and placing them where you'll see them daily keeps its vibration active in your life. Sharing it with others who might benefit extends its blessing while strengthening your own prosperity consciousness. If you've been touched by this experience, I encourage you to leave a comment sharing which part of the prayer most resonated with you. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own journey to unexpected abundance. For those who are new to this way of partnering with divine prosperity, welcome to a community of abundance-minded souls who are discovering together that there is always more than enough when we align with the infinite source of all good things. And for those who have been on this path for some time, may this prayer have deepened your connection and expanded your capacity to receive the prosperity that is your birthright. I send you forward now, wrapped in the certainty of divine supply, walking in the light of prosperity consciousness, and open to receive the unexpected blessings that are already on their way to you. Financial increase is happening for you now. Abundance is flowing to you now. Money is appearing for you now. Yes, even as if from nowhere. Thank you for sharing this sacred journey with me. Until we meet again, may prosperity find you in expected and unexpected ways, and may abundance become your new normal.